Ohjelmayhteistyössä mukana.
My name is Robert Samelin. I'm a senior concept artist at DICE, and I've been there for 9 years. And my job involves doing the visuals for the games, even from sort of the early concept stages up till the finalization of the game, and then we do the cover art and such. And I've mainly been on Battlefield titles for these 9 years, with a short stint on Mirror's Edge, so mainly a Battlefield guy. DICE is unique in that sense that we have a lot of people that have stuck around for a long, long time. So we're like a really tightly knit core group making the Battlefield games. We have people like Lars, who's been there for 17 years, and myself been there for 9 years. So it's really a well-knit team of people who have this really great dynamic. And some people say it's a really sort of Scandinavian thing, but I don't know. Well, it started back in 1999 when Battlefield 1942 came out, and at the time it was a sort of really groundbreaking thing because shooters at that time were mostly, arena-based, fast-paced counter shooters, and what we did was bring sort of this really massive multiplayer experience to people with big maps and loads of vehicles and loads of soldiers, and we've sort of carried that legacy on for each title and sort of just pushing the envelope of where we go technology-wise, team play-wise, and just sort of taking these steps to always improve. And now with Battlefield 1, it's a sort of really big next installment of Battlefield that we're sort of, in one sense, going back to the sort of core of Battlefield, sort of really emphasizing on the rock, paper, scissors gameplay that it's at its core, but also expanding upon the sort of new game modes, new vehicles, new classes, and everything that entails. Explore new gameplay opportunities, in particular with the game, and also the settings. Since World War I was, the first really big global war, and it was the birth of modern warfare in that sense, that tactics and weapons and everything that are still used today sort of came out of World War I. But it was unique in that sense that the old world met the new one. So you would have people with sort of medieval clubs and swords going in hand-to-hand combat, but along with that you had horses, and then sort of super state-of-the-art high technology airplanes and tanks and everything from sort of bolt-action rifles to water-cooled machine guns and the dreadnoughts, the behemoths that we introduced these big sort of battle vehicles that we have. We have the armored train that you're going to see in the Sinai Desert that we're showcasing here in Gamescom, and we have the airship and the sort of big battleship, the Dreadnought. And these are, some of the largest vehicles that we ever built for Battlefield, and they're fully player controlled and can really turn the tides of a battle when they're introduced, and depending on the game mode. And speaking of game modes, we have a new one that we call Operations, which is sort of a series of interconnected maps that play as you have like a front line that you push through. So we go from all over the world and experience these operations, from the Western Front, where we go from rural landscapes to sort of urban maps in the city, and then we have in Italy, go from the Alps down to the Italian coast, and the Oil of Empires, we call it, is a Middle Eastern setting where you go through the Faro Fortress to Suez Canal into the Sinai Desert. And there's going to be more that we're going to talk about later, but it's the most varied sort of experience yet in the Battlefield. I mean, the Battlefield games have at its core been a multiplayer thing. It's an online thing, but since sort of the inception of when we came into these sort of made a debut on consoles with Bad Company games, we've started including a single-player campaign also to the games. So we have both this time around. It's like a adventure-filled single-player campaign, but then there's the all-out war, the multiplayer with 64 players on huge maps and delivering on all things that are Battlefield.
Ohjelmayhteistyössä mukana.